So took a big risk, left it all behind, and decided to join a startup in the Netherlands.
So what was your biggest culture shock?
So we cannot speak about 2025 or 2026 without AI, of course. Because
the two magic letters, just from a marketing industry perspective, did we move the needle?
I think times have changed as a brand because people believe people, right? And people are buying into people. So the brands that are standing out are, and it is a journey to find your purpose and your path, but it is yours to find.
Pat. It's Pat on Brands. Watch how you branded, man. A pat on the back is a pat from the man. Better be branded, man. A pat from the pat is a pat on the brand. If it's enormous.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to yet another exciting episode of the Pat on Brands podcast with me, Pat Mahlangu. Today, we have another special guest, Nomzamo Moalusi.
Hello, Pat.
Welcome to the Pat on Brands podcast. Please try to speak louder so that we can pick up the sound. Nomzamo, for those that do not know you, who is Nomzamo in a nutshell?
Hi guys, so I'm Nomzamo, as Pat has introduced me. I am a passionate, energetic, always the most funny person in the room, I think.
Oh yeah?
But in a nutshell, I'm a marketer by profession. I'm a lover of all fun and nice things, so travel. Not a very avid runner, but a leisurely runner.
Okay.
And a music lover at the highest degree.
So speaking about running, would you do a Comrades like I did?
I aspire to do the Comrades, and I look up to like superhumans like yourself who complete the Comrades. So I aspire. So maybe before the year I turn 40 will be the year that I do the Comrades.
Okay, cool. I mean, you are now the marketing manager at Prime Media Out of Home, which is something that obviously I'd like us to talk about later on in our conversation. But where did the love for marketing come from? Because I know you studied media studies at Vets, and you've since obviously did your MBA, and is where you are, where a young Nomzamo saw herself some years ago.
Yeah, so interesting. So I did think I'd be a journalist. So I always thought I'd be a journalist. And I think because my father used to make us watch CNN on hours and hours and hours and carte blanche and news.
Yeah.
I always thought I'd be a journalist. I always thought I'd be in Iraq or I'd be somewhere on the ground.
Oh, yeah?
But because of my love for travel, I thought being a journalist would allow me to then travel. Because I could not only, cover news and, cover interesting things, but I could be in different countries.
Okay.
So I kind of tied the two to say, well, I must be a journalist. If not, I'll be an air hostess. But if not, I'll be a journalist. So when I studied at Wits, I did international relations, which is that journalist side of thing, as well as media studies. So it felt like a good combination at that point.
Okay.
And then I went to Vega. So shout out to Vega in Cape Town. And I think when I did my honors, I also then got more of a
exposure.
Yes, exposure to what marketing is, what building a brand is. Working on case studies and actually understanding okay, this is what it means when people talk about brands and building a brand. And then when I left Vega, I then found myself at ESCOM, which was very interesting because that was completely opposite to what I wanted to do. And, just even from, what I thought I was going to do. But I thought here's an opportunity. I'm going to take it.
Okay.
But as, my career grew, I did find myself in an amazing agency called Ogilvy, which is then where truly the love of marketing and building a brand and being creative and understanding the process came to life. So in Ogilvy, all things creative, all things sort of creative, all things going through the process, learning how to work under pressure, and also just building magic with some of the brands that I worked on. So I think that's really where my love for marketing and kind of brand building grew. And then the rest was kind of history.
As they say. But would you say that journalism or journalistic trait you had back then, is it gone? Or is it something that
it still
continue to
remains.
apply.
Yeah,
in
it's
your
still,
career
yeah,
today?
definitely. It still remains. So I still, love writing. I write a lot. I write long LinkedIn posts. But, like I do feel like the journalistic side is still in me. Like I still feel like I write a lot. I mean, obviously, with or without, us wanting to, we have to follow the news and what's happening around the world. But I still feel like I've kind of come full circle now that I'm actually working for a media house. So this is actually the first time I've actually worked directly in media with Prime Media.
Oh yeah, if you think about it, it is.
It's kind of full circle now. So Prime Media feels like, okay, well now I'm getting much more closer to the media journalistic side. But it does feel like the circle's still looping, closing. Yeah.
But when you were at Ogilvy, you said that's where like you're sort of immersed in the world of brands and marketing and brand building in general. What are some of the campaigns that you are happy you worked on?
Amazing.
If you can mention.
Yes. So MultiChoice was one of my best client and probably account that I worked on. And that was the primary account I worked on from Mnet, SA and ROA, Channel O, some of the big campaigns that they did from an SA and ROA perspective. The first Music Viewers Choice Awards, which was in Nigeria, was a campaign that I worked on. And it was the first time I went to Nigeria. So it was great all around, just from like getting to learn about working in the continent, building brands and stories around the continent. And the work that MultiChoice was obviously doing some few years ago.
Got you.
So I think, it is and it was a brilliant brand then, some really great clients. I still hold such great relationships with some of the people that I worked on with clients, colleagues from Ogilvy. So there was some really, magical stuff. That point also FIFA, the AFCON also was a big campaign I worked on as well. So there were a lot of, really good stuff. And there was the one main opportunity I had that I really could work on the continent. So if I ever think about a future me, I think of one day also just be able to still go back to work where it's SA and rest of Africa work.
Wow. Speaking about working in South Africa and the continent, you also worked overseas.
Yes, I did. So took a big risk, left it all behind, and decided to join a startup in the Netherlands. And also in the marketing space as well, marketing and brand space. I think very different the first time I worked for a startup. But I think one of the things that I learned the most was just around really leaving your comfort zone.
Oh, yeah?
So, South Africa, really, we have it all. I mean, we really, really do. But you're leaving behind family and friends, familiar weather, amazing food. Perhaps your means of sort of like commute or mobility. You really have to figure things out from scratch. So you really are just navigating everything, let alone your job. You're navigating everything from, getting to the office, how to buy groceries, where the doctor is, or finding a dentist.
And those are the things that we take for granted, right?
100%. So not only are you in a new environment, you're also in a completely new country, obviously, and having to learn so much about that country. So working at that startup was great. I mean, a startup, you're everything. You're the marketing manager, you're the events manager, you're the social media person, PR. So I feel like I got to be everything in that role specifically. Very hectic, but it was a really great learning experience for me.
So what was your biggest culture shock when you got there? You're like, okay.
Definitely the weather.
Oh, yeah?
Is the biggest one. I think coming from a country, South Africa and maybe Joburg specifically, even our winters, we see the sun. So we still get, our dose of vitamin D. Still get to, have these winters like sunsets. So the weather's the biggest shock. And I think you don't realize the effect of not seeing the sun for a very long time, what they can have on your, just on your mood, on your mood, on your mental health, and just the kind of things we take for granted, like you're saying, about just being able to take a walk outside or having a long boozy lunch or, so there's those small things. I think the weather was the biggest one, but people in the Netherlands also make a vibe of it. So when it's winter, there's really great Christmas markets and that's a vibe. People also have a great sense of style.
Oh yeah, it's
P&S
as well. I can
style.
see
Yeah,
you.
like
Look
the
at
jackets
you.
are like, you know,
Coats,
the
yeah.
coats, and you
Yeah.
can see people are dressed up really like, you know, stylish.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but the weather definitely was something that even when I came home, I was just like, sun, just sitting in the sun. And the food goes without saying. South African food, hands down, is the best in the world.
So from a work perspective, would you say there's sort of different work styles, you know, that us South Africans have versus, you know, Netherlands or Dutch people?
I would say yes, but I also think there's some similarities. So we're not far behind, because I know often people think, you know, overseas people are like way ahead in their like working styles or the technology they use or, you know, systems that they use. I think we're not far behind. I think things are different, but also because a country can be different by religion or by sort of like lifestyle. So in South Africa, when it's December, we're like December and we're no more working. Abroad, it's like when it's summer, which is June, July, then people aren't working because the sun is out and people are at the beach and people have gone on holiday. So it's also strange for like maybe a South African who might think like, oh, June, July is the middle of the year. It's not December. It's not, you know, it's not a holiday period.
It's their summer, so
100%.
it makes sense for them. It's time for them to be outside.
Yes, 100%. But the work style is very different. I think there is more liberal than freedom, I would say, in the sense of like you really can. I mean, in a startup environment, there's no real work hours. So you can work from, you know, 9 to like 9 a.m. the next day, or so it's very like flexible. But I think South Africa is not completely far off in the sense of flexible work hours. So
if you were to give an advice to a young professional, you know, about who's sort of having the debate of whether to work for a small company versus a big corporate, to work in SA versus, you know, going abroad, what advice would you give them?
I think this is a biased view, of course. I think you should work abroad if you can once in your life. And I think there are lessons you can learn from being uncomfortable in that kind of way that are lessons you can keep with you. Home will always be home. You can always come back home. You can always see your loved ones. You can always, you know, visit or come back home. So it's not a forever decision, right? It's something you can decide on and then come home after 2 years and feel like,
got you.
I didn't like it, you know. But I always feel that, you know, if you really want to stretch your learning how to be uncomfortable, stretch your sort of your own tenacity and like patience about learning new things, go to like work and move to another country.
Sure.
Yeah.
And where you are now, obviously, I mean, from working overseas, now you come back to South Africa.
Yeah.
You joined Prime Media as the marketing and comms manager for Out of Home. We are obviously living at a time where digital, you know, is dominating the conversations. And, you know, with marketing, right?
Yeah.
Whenever there's a new shiny tool, the old one is dead, you know?
Yeah.
But somehow, I'd like to think that Out of Home has demonstrated strong resilience. You know, it's still a powerful medium for anyone who's looking to build brand.
100%.
Where do you find yourselves as an industry, you know, just from an Out of Home perspective?
Yeah, I think you're spot on, right? So we live in a digital first led world, so you're spot on. And I think for Prime Media Out of Home, it has been very important to evolve and to also think about everything from a digital first perspective. So as you'll see, many of the statics are not only statics. There's also our digital screens. And there's ways that you can also put those two things together. Social media and Out of Home can work together. There's ways that people are also creating campaigns and brilliant brands that are doing it well out there around like how to use Out of Home and still bring it to someone's mobile device. Where we can look at a naked or pineapple ad and we can also see it on our phone and we can laugh about it and say, oh, when Pat got naked at the end function.
And okay, I never did that, but yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
There's a way that actually out of Home isn't this thing that is just like standing there. It's the structure that you see, whether it's in a mall or side or like roadside. It's something that you actually can engage and sort of, you know, bring it to the mobile device. Because I think often people think like, no one's got their eyes on there. Everyone's got their eyes on their mobile. And it's like,
Yeah.
well, a lot of people actually do have their eyes on our screens because we can also prove it. We've got data, we've got insights, and we can prove that eyes are on those screens. So even in a world where people thought billboards would die and thought, traditional media such as outdoor would die, it's actually probably one of the brands that actually like kind of one of the platforms that escalates a lot of brands. And to be honest, there's nothing more exciting or exhilarating than to see yourself on a billboard.
Of course, I know, right? So, I mean, when 100%. We ran a campaign, on your platforms, and I mean, the amount of WhatsApp messages,
100%.
that I received on that day, and like to your point, to say people are not looking at the billboards or not watching the content on billboards, it's a lie.
100%. I mean, I love there's a Netflix billboard that I pass every time I go home.
Yeah.
It's on Winnie Mandela.
Yeah, another one.
I look forward to seeing
one by Person High.
Yes,
yeah.
100%. I look forward to seeing that billboard. Like, what's today's message? It can be like, yo, Chomiki, whatever.
Yeah,
like
it changes every. Yeah.
Someone's obviously, show specific. Often it's very just cultural.
Moments.
Cultural nuances, 100%.
Yeah.
So it also just goes to prove that, not only do you look forward to seeing that, but a brand's also found a way to use a platform in a meaningful and kind of culturally relevant way, honestly.
Got you. But now you also worked overseas, right? I'm pretty sure you were paying attention to 100%. Some of the executions that side. Do they differ in how we use out of home here versus...
I think we're quite on par if I think about it. So, I've recently, not the first time, but I've recently gone to New York again for like a leisurely trip.
Yeah.
And even just being in Times Square, which is the biggest, I would say, kind of
showcase of
out of home, truly.
Yeah.
And there's like so many screens around you, all playing different brands, all different, it's anything from sort of Nike on one side and, Wimbledon to kind of like animal WWF stuff. So it's millions of messages all in one short space of area. And when I think about overseas and when I think about South Africa, we're not far-fetched. I think, of course, the development of how fast we kind of get the tech and the data and that kind of stuff going and how quick we can get things live on our boards, we're quite on par. So people can send a message to you like via WhatsApp and say, happy birthday, Pat, and it can be on the biggest billboard, like in 5 seconds. Or it can be like, will you marry me? And you can have that up on the billboard. So there's ways where people are using it quite, not just for brands, but also just for personal interaction with each other. Like, good morning, Joburg, or like you're stuck in traffic again. Or, so content is very dynamic. And I think from an overseas perspective, and as I was using Times Square as an example, and South Africa, we're not very far because we can do the same thing. Things that could be... conversations that could be trending on social media, we can have up on our boards and we can say, well, today we're talking about, pat on brands. Oh.
Yeah, I think obviously, even the tech, I think it's there, right? Because, I remember even when we ran our campaign on your platforms, we could say, hey, can we get this on high rotation quickly?
100%.
And within minutes, it would happen.
100%.
So... if there's a marketer who's watching here, and obviously, they have this debate, should we go out of home versus digital? And I think you made a point earlier on that I guess where we are is not an either or.
100%.
It's not out of home and not digital. It's not at digital, not and out of home. So how do we then harmonize, all our marketing communications?
Yeah. I think, like you're saying, it's a mix, right? So it's not that one is better than the other because I think there's always that. I think what matters for marketers is how can I measure it? So how can I get my ROI on the money spent on that thing? So it's always to be clear on like, what are your objectives for your campaign, right? So are you wanting, awareness or talkability or, are you, maybe you are trying to, build a case study around out of home, like what the likes of, the insurance companies did where out of home was all they chose and then kind of measured the awareness of what that got for them.
Yeah.
So you've always got to be clear on your KPIs and your objectives to say, well, this is what we want out of the campaign and here's a mixture of platforms that we can put together. So often radio and out of home works great together. You're already on the road, you're already listening to some radio, you're already being stimulated by a brand of some sort. And if we work with radio and out of home, you can also get your messaging to play at a specific time. You can get it to play at a specific time. You can get a board that shows you that same ad at the same time. So you might be driving down, Santon Drive and Winnie Mandela as an example. And, Pattern Brands is on radio and there's an ad about Pattern Brands. And then it says, well, look up. And you look up at the screen and it says, good morning, Nomzamo. So,
that is so cool.
That's how dynamic the content can be.
Yeah.
That's how dynamic we can create it for our brands and our clients. So it's not this static thing that, can't move and you can't change it. And we've got like location targeting as well. So if you close to a specific billboard or you're close to a specific area, you could also be served messaging because you're in Santon or you're in, North Riding or a specific area. So it's out of home is very dynamic. It's not, as much as it's a structure, it's actually very moving. It's like a moving thing.
Is there a case study that you can share, maybe of a brand that you did something that was quite interactive and that was out of the ordinary?
I would definitely say the very recent Cell C campaign. And that was their launch of, they were launching a campaign called, I think it was called, oh my God, and I'm going to get it wrong. But the purpose of that specific Cell C rebranding campaign was they were saying they have signal all across South Africa. They partnered with Prime Media and obviously other media owners, but from an out-home perspective, they used all of the Prime Media billboards. They used over 40 billboards.
Sure.
So what they did is they had OBs across South Africa. So they had like an OB, which is an outdoor broadcast where Anel and the team were running an OB and running their show from a specific location.
Yeah.
But we could stream and see their OB on our billboards.
Whoa.
So there was a great connection around between 6 and 9. There's an outside broadcast with the presenters as well as the live streaming on the screens. So it also just showed the dynamic of that connection between radio, which you listen to, which we always know is like the theater of the mind, but also bringing it to life onto the screens. So when you were listening on the radio and you're on the road, you could stop by one of the billboards and see that campaign. And I think what they were landing about that campaign was just that, Cell C's everywhere you go. They have signal no matter where you are, as they've partnered now with Vodacom and MTN. So so it was phenomenal, and I think it was good. They had many touch points, they had many activations on that day. So they really had a sort of like a multi-touch point campaign, which is great.
Sure, that's I can imagine you listening to the radio whilst driving, and boom, you look up. Oh, yeah.
Yes, and you see like a live, you see the live stream on the screens. Yeah.
So there's a lot that now can be done
100%
out of home. But do you look after just outdoor billboards or out of home, as in, because you also have malls?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
So yes, you are correct. So out of home is the combination of outdoor, which is our billboards. So as you said, the traditional kind of roadside billboards.
Yeah.
And then malls, which is the advertising that we obviously do in the malls that we have rights and coverage in. And then in-store, which is also a third business that we own.
Sure.
It's 3 babies under one house.
Oh, yeah? So obviously, if I'm a client coming to you, I can have all sort of
100%. And I think
touch points.
100%. And I think the power of Prime Media really is that, now we have the 3 businesses that can kind of service even our clients but also in a more like seamless way where it doesn't feel like a business is kind of broken up, because I think sometimes clients do feel that like, okay, I have to deal with Pat and then I have to deal with Nomzamo, then I have to deal with
Tabang,
then I have to deal with somebody else, and and what we're trying to build as a business then is Prime Media is we're one business, and we're actually trying to sell an integrated and seamless experience to our clients.
Interesting. I mean, we are obviously approaching the end of 2025.
Yes.
Perhaps one is tempted to ask you the question, how do you rate the year? Just from a marketing industry perspective, did we move the needle a bit this year? Did we challenge ourselves as an industry?
I think it's been the toughest year, for marketers, and I think across all industries. So I from socially friends who work across financial services, FMCG, different, industry, from sports industries. It's been a tough year in the sense of budgets are tighter, have become tighter.
Yeah.
And I think that that also forces you to become more creative because your budgets are tighter.
So
you're having to find ways to be creative in ways that maybe if you didn't have a big budget, how do you be smart and innovative about a campaign?
Yeah.
Without a big budget kind of, that you're kind of used to. So 2025 for me feels like, yes, a harder year from a budget perspective, even from a economic landscape perspective, right? I think it's also been quite tough. I think people have been feeling quite the pinch on their pockets and not only clients, brands, agencies, but it's been a year of how do you stand out? How do you how do you think? How do you really think creatively if somebody only gave you R1?
So you had to be resourceful.
100%. As marketers always have to be, actually.
Yeah. So in the absence of budget constraints, what other challenges do you think marketers are facing?
We live in a world where there's a lot happening. So attention span, right? So we're fighting for share of attention. You're fighting for, somebody who's being bombarded from their car, from the road.
I think someone said on average, we see or we're exposed to 5,000 ads.
I can believe it's in a day. That. I can believe that. And you being sometimes even unwillingly. I mean, you're scrolling on, on Pinterest and you might think this was a picture, but it's like, surprise, it's an advert and you clicked on it, Or, so I think we're constantly under this overstimulated environment that we're working on. And then we're also anxious because we've got our own life stuff, running families, running homes. So I think as a brand and as a marketer, you're fighting for people's attention and to be remembered, right? So you're also fighting for somebody whose mind is filled with millions of things in a day. How do they walk away and remember that? Yeah, do you remember that Pat on Brands ad that I saw?
Sure.
That's
crazy. I mean, if you think about it, someone was saying back, when we were growing up, the industry did a lot of good work.
Yes.
Yes. There was great ads and there was great this and there was great that. And we remembered Amat Luk and whatnot.
Yes, and all these ads, right?
And all those ads. But if you think about it, and I'll just make the argument that during those times, that was the only thing we were exposed to.
100%.
We were all watching Generations, all of us at the same time.
100%.
At 8 p.m., every
100%.
household in the country was watching Generations.
100%.
And we all saw the same ads at the very
100%.
same time. The following day at school, we'll talk about...
Did you see that ad?
Exactly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
Fast forward to now, I mean, like you say, we're just so exposed to so much advertising and marketing communications to a point where, like you say, I can't even remember the last ad I saw.
Yeah, which is crazy because people are still spending, right? Like 2+ millions on ads, on TV ads and on some of the traditional big brand campaigns.
Sure.
But imagine investing so much in a brand campaign that, now I can ask you, what is the last brand campaign that you saw? You'd really have to think about it. You'd really have to be like, sure, which ad can you really remember? And content, as you said, is like we're not consuming content in a linear format. You're often watching something on TV, but you're on your phone.
Or you're on a laptop as well.
You're on your laptop. Or you are. So content is not this, like you said, we're not sitting and watching something. Even when you're watching something on TV, you're not watching it or on Netflix or any streaming platform. You're also not watching it the full 45 minutes. You're watching it, then somewhere you pause and then you're off somewhere else.
Yeah.
And so it almost feels like we're all these ADHD people who we can't stay watching something for more than 15 minutes and we're really thinking about something else. So content isn't consumed linear anymore. And brands have to think about someone who's in a multi-screened type of environment, which is all of us. How do I capture that person? Because truly they are between their laptop, their phone and watching these TV or these brand campaigns.
So at the same time, I guess if you don't do anything because people are on their phones, because people are looking at billboards or because people are listening to the radio and therefore I might as well not do anything. You're indirectly killing your brand, right?
You are, but I think times have changed as a brand because people believe people, right? And people are buying into people. So the brands that are standing out are the brands that are like, well, what insights can we learn from people? What insights can we learn from, like the really great one that, somebody said, the Vaseline campaign won 2025.
Oh, yeah?
Because they took such a not a small insight, but a really important insight around Vaseline and around, having a child and, whether it was your grandmother or auntie that you worked with who was rubbing Vaseline on your face as a child and you hated it. And they took a really important and a kind of like a very important cultural insight and turned that into a campaign. And everybody could relate to it. So never mind.
And across races, across 100%. Age groups.
So never mind what copy was written on there or what the line was, but just seeing a child with a hand being rubbed with Vaseline.
That's what I do every morning to my daughter. Every morning.
Everyone relates to that, whether you, as a child, doing it to your own children or nieces or nephews. It's taking those people insights, and those are what the brands that stand out. And I use the insurance brands again because they started saying, Tando got naked at the party. People related. So I always feel that the brands of now and the brands of the future will always put people at the center of their brands.
But part of me feels that if you look at the Vaseline ad.
Yes.
Because it started off with a social media post.
Yes.
I think only after the social media post, they're like,
we gotta go with
this. Thing's got legs. This thing has got legs. Let's put it on Out of Home. Right. The other day I was driving and I saw it on Out of Home. I was like, damn.
Right.
Yeah.
And sometimes, somebody said to me that when they see something on a billboard, I don't know if it was you, but somebody said when you see something on a billboard, it becomes real. Like it's a real thing now. Now it's like, it's not social media, it's not fake news. Not. So there's something about a billboard that gives you that credibility. And now when you've seen this Vaseline campaign on a billboard or you've seen a campaign on a billboard, it's like, oh, it is real. It wasn't some AI thing serving me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. If you think about it, I was like, damn, now it's on billboards.
Yes.
It has grown legs. And I guess that's where social media and Out of Home and all these other mediums sort of
100%
come together, because brands can actually use social media to test the ideas.
100%.
Before going full scale
100%.
Out of Home. Or above the line, rather, spending millions of rands.
Because you'll get feedback. If there's any way you're going to get feedback, it's the streets of social media.
Yeah, exactly. And you get it instantly.
Exactly.
And I'm assuming, obviously, I'm not privy to the inner workings at Unilever and Vaseline, but above the view that they saw the impact 100%. It had on social media and the conversation it started,
100%.
that they were like, we can't miss this moment. It has to extend
100%.
to other mediums.
100%.
So that even that go-go that's not on social media
is now
can see it on a billboard.
Yes.
And relate to it.
100%. And that's the great relationship of, like you're saying, Out of Home where it is now and social media and sort of the digitally first led world where, people, like you're saying, had the perception that, Out of Home is this traditional medium that's dying out. It's like newspapers and magazines and all of this, but it's actually like a platform that works so, probably like maybe the best, one of the platforms that works so well with Out of Home is social media.
And just to double click on the credibility part, that comes with Out of Home. One, with social media, anyone can just, like you said, you mentioned AI.
Yeah.
You can easily create something and put it out there, But when it's on a billboard, if someone took their time to spend money to book the spot, to go print the stuff, get it installed.
Yes. It's like it's real.
It's real. Exactly. And which I think, and I always tell people whenever they ask me the question, should we do Out of Home or should we, only focus on digital, and using the insurance companies, as examples.
Yeah.
They are digital first, if you think about it,
100%.
Brands, right? But what they did really well was to understand that if we start doing Out of Home, then that would mean that, we'd get some credibility and some serious, if we're creative about it.
Yes.
Because what also they managed to do, it wasn't just taking on a
like a typical approach.
Yeah, typical approach.
Yes, 100%.
You know, to just say, oh, we are naked, get a coat or whatever,
100%.
visit this website.
100%.
And so they had to be super creative about it.
100%.
That it captured the attention of people. So, oh, hey, Paul got naked whilst...
Yes, and imagine how many people's names are Paul in Joburg alone.
Exactly.
So you already got my attention because my name is Umpo, so I'll look at it and be like, and take a photo or
send it to
someone else.
Exactly.
Or, you know, laugh about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then that's how now the brand awareness then gets
100%. And it's
built.
and it's that combination of creativity, magic, and insight, as you mentioned. So it's about that. The insight could be just the cultural relevance of, okay, what is something people could do or chuckle about, like, oh, don't get naked or get naked at the year-end function. Or so there's also a small insight that was found that was so profound as well. Then the use of local names and bring it back to cultural relevance. And the creativity also was then that as simple as these 1 or 2 sentences are on a billboard, because you also have to keep your messaging quite simple. I mean, and punchy, because I mean, we don't have yes, as much as we're in traffic, you got to capture me in that first 3 to 5 seconds. So they also took that yes, one might be in Joburg and be in traffic, but I'm going to look at that billboard for that 3 seconds. And what do I want out of the person who's watching it? Are they going to smile? They're going to laugh? Are they going to remember it? Take a picture? Post it on their social media? And, you know, so it's that soft spot between creativity and insight, and then obviously a platform. And I also think, of course, brave brands, which is always something I love so much. I love seeing brave brands. I love seeing brands that are pushing the envelope, who are even playing outside of their own industry, and are kind of partnering even with people who are outside of the industry as well. So when I think of those insurance brands, I actually love those kind of campaigns because brands should be brave, and that's how they'll stand out. Yeah.
I'm also moved by brands that really, you know, challenge the norm and push the envelope. Again, we are at the end of 2025, but now let's cast our eyes into the future. 2026. What are some of your predictions, you know, in terms of what's going to happen in the world of brands?
So we cannot speak about 2025 or 2026 without AI, of course. Because
the 2 magic letters, AI.
Seems like everybody just got to say like AI.
Yeah.
I definitely think that from a South African perspective, and like I said, we're not far from an international landscape anyway, AI is only going to elevate a marketer's world, a brand's world, the way we position things. Yes, as much as AI is something we have to teach. So what's good about that is that we will still remain relevant. So we're not firing all marketing managers and replacing them with AI. But the biggest prediction I have is that AI will elevate us as marketers and as brand builders. I do think brands that will stand out the most are those who have the most local and culturally sort of fed teams, in the sense of like those insights that you get from whether, you know, research or data that you make. I think those will be the brands that stand out. We've already started seeing like, you know, brands who are really taking local and cultural insights and building beautiful stories. So I really think that what TikTok has done, in the sense of TikTok in South Africa, TikTok Pretoria, TikTok, there's all these kind of like local kind of nuances of content. And I think that's the relevance, and that's where people will stop and listen and remember your brand. So I think that's where I think 2026 is taking us. And I think the economy will get better and we'll get better budgets.
You reckon?
And clients will spend more with us.
You reckon?
I think 2026 is...
Yeah.
I've got my eyes on it.
Okay. But I mean, also, I'm not sure if you are aware, I mean, there's also this notion that from a digital or / social media perspective, people are going to try
and be mindful
and to use less of these platforms and want to connect with brands through experiences versus on screens.
I think it's a combination, because I think what screen and I'm not panting for screen time, more screen time for anybody. Yeah. But I agree with the mindfulness, because I think things like mental health and that's really, it has, not only started now, but it's been at the forefront of people really saying, well, I want a more balanced life between my mental health, my wellness. You can see all these things are popping up, wellness and reformer Pilates and all these high rocks, and everyone's just, teaching their lives.
Yeah.
But I also think what mobile and tech and all these platforms gives us is that we can actually consume a lot of content, news in a short space of time quicker than we could. So we didn't have to wait till 7 p.m. to watch the news, or you don't have to wait till 1 p.m. So it does
know what's happening in the world.
Yes, you can just pick up your phone and kind of get small bite-sized pieces of information and be quite clued up from sports, from news, from, politics. So I think, yes, the mindfulness definitely, and kind of balancing our time with screen time. I think I'm a 1K, so the 2Ks. The 2Ks are definitely...
Actually, I heard that
there's a war between the 1Ks and the 2Ks.
2 weeks ago, someone said, hey, only 1K. I'm like, hey, what is 1K?
They're like, the 1K sleep at 9 p.m. So the 2Ks, I think, definitely are like not only more opinionated, and, even in the workplace, it's you can see there's that like... love-hate relationship, but they are taking time and mindfulness more, kind of more, I don't know, like prioritizing it. And then the experiences, 100%. So brands that are doing it so well, the alcohol brands are doing it well, from a touch and be in a kind of like experience versus, yes. And then the sports brands, Nike, the brands are also doing a good job around creating those like what it feels like to associate yourself with the brand.
Yeah.
So experiences as well. And I think, of course, experiences and out of home goes together as well, guys.
Of course. Of course. And what can we expect from Prime Media outdoor perspective in 2026? Are there exciting
better
stuff that are coming up?
Yeah, so bigger and better structures. I think we're definitely... we're on the path of, we're on the path of putting more structures in the ground, and not just more structures, but I think also creating things that are also more, like when you speak about the experiences that allow brands or allow our clients to use different platforms in a sort of like an integrated consumer journey. So we'll be able to speak to your from a Prime Media perspective, not even just outdoor, we'll be able to speak to your customer or your audience from the car, roadside, whether they're a commuter in a car or using a taxi, to being inside the mall, to getting into the store. We're able to kind of close that whole loop from a 360 perspective.
Amazing.
So it's a growing, it's a growing empire.
Okay, fantastic. So obviously, there's some young professionals who are early, in their career, and they're watching this and they're like,
marketing.
If there's one advice you'd give them, what would it be?
A young marketer or somebody considering marketing?
Yeah, both.
I would say be brave and courageous. I would say that if I had to give them advice, I would definitely say that there is no limit in a marketer's world.
Okay. There is no limit.
No limit.
In a marketer's world.
In a marketer's world.
Yeah.
So any idea is an idea. No matter the limit, no matter the budget, no matter the idea.
Yeah.
I think what I love the most about marketing is that there is no limit. Your creativity is, it's limitless, and your creativity is your superpower. That you bring into any brand, into any business.
So you have to be
yourself.
Aha.
More importantly.
Got you. Did you have any mentors when you were starting out?
I did. And I think there were a mixture of people. I think some unknowingly to them were my mentors.
Okay.
But I did. And I had people that I looked up to. If I think of a lot of the creative people I worked with in, let's say, from an Ogilvy perspective, and some of the people who did such great campaigns, if I think of, can I say their names?
Yeah, no, you can say their names.
So if I think of some of, when I worked at MultiChoice at that point, Nomzamo Moalusi was in the business at that point.
Oh, yeah?
To this day, she's somebody that I still see and engage with her. Now she's group CEO at SABC. So it's also someone that was very strict, disciplined, strong on her brand, knew what she wanted, had conviction in the brands that she worked in. And I think that's something you don't think of when you're younger, but when you grow older and you go into the marketing space, you realize that you have to have conviction with the brand you love and that you're working on. So I would definitely say she was somebody that, like, you know, in the shadows, I was like...
Low key.
Yeah, I'm like... when I grow up.
Okay, yeah.
And then I think in different spaces, I also had mentors. So I also had, in a human capital space, I worked in a company called AdCorp, and that was a people space. And I think what was important about the mentors I had there was just about learning to work with people, what people are about, learning about the psyche of people, which was something that I love so much. I'm a people's person, but I think it was something that also helped me think about how I lead today. As well, like how I manage different people on the team as well.
Sure.
And then I think definitely the bigger guys that everybody knows in marketing. Kinsey from Nedbank.
Oh, actually, we had Kelsey earlier on today. So, yeah.
So people that you kind of, you know, give props, you know, Bully, my sister also from Nedbank.
Yeah.
People who really are, you know, live in their purpose through their own purpose, let alone like the brand that they work for. But it feels like there's a soft spot or there's a perfect intersection between the brands they work for and
who they are.
Yes, and showing up as who they are. Yeah.
Sure.
So it's kind of like they've been my secret mentors in the background. But also people I've engaged with them and had conversations. So it's also... Yeah. It's always nice to see, like, especially strong, Black, beautiful women just living in their purpose.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So you'd advise that every young person should have some sort of mentors.
Absolutely. And I think when you think about being a mentor, so if I think about myself, and people used to say, you must get a mentor, you must have a mentor, it always felt like it was this hard thing. It always felt like you've got to make an appointment with Pat, then you've got to have an agenda, like what are the things you want. And yes, it's always good to be structured. But sometimes you just maybe want 30 minutes with that person, let's go downstairs and have a coffee and just say, you know, this is what I'm thinking of doing with my life. So it doesn't have to feel like getting a mentor is a whole hectic thing. And you can get mentors in different ways. You can get mentors in a personal capacity, like somebody who you might look up to from maybe they're a mom or a wife or a sports person, or, you know, maybe they've run the Comrades and you want them to mentor you to run the Comrades. So it can be in any way, right? And then professionally, it could be, I want to actually be like this person in 10 years, or this is the trajectory of my career potentially. And they could teach me how they got to where they are. And I mean, currently I have an amazing, I think actually, all the leaders I currently report to now. I've got an amazing deputy CEO. Her name is Genevieve Coward. She hired me and she's phenomenal. She's smart and she's also like somebody that can pick her brain about stuff. And she's also mentored me because she's also said, well, here's this media world. Take it with 2 hands. So I mentor.
And run with it.
So your mentors can push you, your mentors can challenge you. They're not there to just agree with everything you say. So I would definitely say have a mentor, and not just one, multiple, because we are multiple. We're like multifaceted individuals, 100%.
And I mean, I like what you said in terms of some... They don't even know that they're mentors, but you are watching them, you know, as they move, and you try to emulate them wherever you can. Because for most parts, and I think one of the conversations that I had with Kenzie, just around mentorship as well, is that obviously someone at her level, you know, they are so inundated with requests 100%. For mentorships, but also she still has a job to do.
Exactly.
She still has to show up and
targets,
and perform and meet her targets. You know, and hence I think she made an investment, a personal investment on a platform that, you know, can connect young people with other mentors, you know, to join that particular aspect. Also just to scale, you know, this whole idea of mentorship. Because for most parts, again, with my experience is that also mentorship, it shouldn't be one directional in a way where you as a mentee, all you do is take.
Agree.
You know, because it is a relationship at the end of the day. And any relationship, in my view, that succeeds is the one that's mutually
2 ways
beneficial. You know, yes, and most people young people would ask, but what can I give a Kenzie, for example? Or what can I give a Nomzamo, for example? Because they are so accomplished. They don't need... But you'll be surprised.
Yeah.
What kind of value you can add as well to their lives, because some of them, maybe they don't even have time to do their social media.
You just help them with the 100%.
You can say, I saw, you can see you've got this challenge that you are on, or you did Kilimanjaro or whatever.
Help you put together
a story, send me all the pictures, or create a docu or whatever, something like that. But then indirectly, you'll be forming a solid relationship
100%.
With the person.
Yeah.
Do you think, am I justified in saying that? Because others will say, but I have nothing to give.
You always have something to give. I think, like I often say, with or without a degree, or without the papers we hold and frame and years of experience and CVs and all these things, there's only one Pat. There's only one Nomzamo. So if anything, you're bringing something nobody else has. You have your own perspective. You have your own lived experiences. You have your own history, your own story. So you can't say, I look to Pat and there's nothing that I can bring to Pat or to a Kenzie or to a Nomza. But you are bringing some sort of perspective. We have a new intern in our team, and she brings a different perspective that I might not have looked at something in a specific way. And it's only because she could think of it that way, or it was an experience that she thought she wanted to share with the team. So often, yes, it's a two-way street, but often you being in the room, regardless of what room it is, with presidents, with, CMOs, or with even just, your own marketing team, just you being there, you bring a perspective that nobody else has, because it's your story and it's your experience and it's your perspective.
Yeah.
And it's your personality. People remember Pat because Pat is like this,
Because Pat is Pat.
Pat is Pat. And, Nomzamo's Nomz. And, if anything in this life, be remembered for something. So choose that thing. Be like, if Pat's not there, who's going to play the music? Or Nomzamo's not there, we don't get
the energy.
So be remembered for something. And with or without degrees, experience, you always bring something to the table.
So don't be passive.
Never be passive. And believe your voice, believe your inner voice, believe in yourself. I know in a world of high competition and social media and everybody looking perfect and thin and nice hair, nice skin, and get ready with me.
Yeah.
And all sorts of things. It might
a nice room.
And they listen and they look like their life is all put together.
Yeah.
And even in a world like that, you still have a place. You still have something that nobody else has. And you've just got to figure out that, okay, well, me, Nomzamo, how do I make my mark in this way? I don't need to be like Pat. I don't need to be like Gatlejo. I don't need to be... This is my story and this is my path. And it is a journey to find your purpose and your path, but it is yours to find.
On that note, Nomzamo, I think on that very profound note, I think that's where we're gonna end it today, But it wouldn't be the Pattern Brands podcast if you don't play the Pattern Brands quiz. Are you ready?
I hope so.
Are you ready, Noms?
Don't make it hard.
It won't be hard. If you follow Pattern Brands, you would definitely have the answers for most of these questions or quiz questions that I'm going to ask, right? All right. Shall we?
Yes.
Time Bank.
Oh, my word.
Has recently announced a new CEO that will be taking the reins in January 2026. What is the name of the new CEO? Don't go on Google now. Look, this is the first time we have someone trying to cheat.
I'm like Gemini. What?
Yeah.
She don't know who the CEO is going to be.
Okay, I'm going to give you 3 names.
Okay.
And you pick one. Yeah. Multi-choice questions. Yeah, multiple choice.
Yeah, multiple choice.
Say multi-choice. Multiple choice questions. MCQ. Is it Bilal Aesop? Cheslin Jacobs? Or Janie Jacobs?
Cheslin.
How do you know?
Because I saw a post on LinkedIn of the, I think, going out CEO
Yeah.
actually writing a post about him and saying quite amazing things about him.
It is Cheslin Jacobs. You get a pet.
You get a pet, yeah.
Okay, you get a pet. Let's see. I'm not sure if you follow soccer.
Oh, sports don't rely on me, but let's try.
Okay, sports. So there's a luxury brand that recently partnered up with FC Barcelona.
Only because you told me the answer already.
You can't say that.
Wasn't it Mary? Very?
Who?
I feel like you said the answer. What
When?
was it? Earlier on.
I didn't say it.
Oh my gosh.
Let me give you options.
Yeah.
I mean,
I heard it. That's why I'm like,
you had it. Okay.
yeah.
Is it
Option A?
Louis Vuitton? Celine? Or Amiri?
Amiri! Yes! Why are you not clapping for me?
It's not.
Is it not?
Yeah.
Oh, what's the answer? Louis Vuitton.
I'm kidding. It's Amiri.
Guys,
Okay.
it's a pet. Hello.
It's a pat. Yes, you get a pat. You get a pat. Aha. Hey, there's been a lot of brand collaborations recently. Reebok recently partnered up. Yeah, actually.
You're right there.
With a rapper. South African rapper. On a sneaker.
Options.
Casper Nyovest. Youngster CPT. Or Aries.
Oh my God. See now, the 1K in me is coming out now.
South African rapper.
Youngster. CPT.
How do you know?
It's just giving a good collaboration. It's just...
Wow. Do you know Youngster CPT?
Yes.
Okay.
He's the current
Okay.
AK.
Actually, when I saw the collaboration, I thought of AKA, and there's a common trend. It's almost like...
So am I right?
Yeah. You get a pat. You get a pat. You get a pat. It is Youngster
Yes.
CPT.
See, guys, the 1Ks, we're up.
Yeah, the 1Ks are up. It's question number 4, ne? Now we're on question number 4. You know Walmart, right? You're in the US recently, of course, you know Walmart. And they opened their first physical store in South Africa. Mm-hmm. Which mall did they open that store at?
What are the options?
Option 1, Sandton City, Mall of Africa, or Fourways Mall?
Mall of Africa.
How do you not know?
Because those are the 2 malls I don't go to. Mall of Africa, I don't go. And...
It's Fourways Mall.
Oh.
You get a slap.
Oh, no. But Fourways Mall is so complicated and hard to get around. Okay,
Really?
I get a slap.
Get a slap.
Damn.
All right. Let's look at the last question.
Damn, I was on such a good streak.
Do you like some snacks?
Yes, definitely.
You know the brand called Cheetos?
Yes.
Which entertainer /influencer /artist /MC did a collaboration with Cheetos. I'll give you some names.
Some clues, yeah.
I'll give you some names.
Yeah.
Is it Robot Boy? Is it Yanga?
Oh my God.
Or is it Devin Gogo?
Robot Boy.
How do you know?
Because you said all those things that he is an MC, a presenter, influencer.
And Devin Gogo is not? I'm kidding.
MC.
No, he's a teacher.
Like,
Yes, it is.
Is it
Robot Boy? Robot Boy. So 4 out of 5.
thank you, Team 1K representing here.
Hey, you're owning this, man. I'm not a K anything.
I'm trying to be representing the 1Ks because apparently the 1Ks are losing the battle.
Look at us. We turned out fine. We turned out perfectly. I mean, come on.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So the 1Ks are.
Any parting shots?
Any parting shots? Yeah, I don't know. I think, if anything, I am grateful to be a marketer.
Wow.
Glad I live in a time where my job isn't monotonous, can't be replaced.
Okay. Not even with AI.
Not even with AI. So my parting shots really are one of gratitude. And I say thank you, Pat, for inviting me on here.
Thank you for joining us.
And
it took time, but it happened. It took time to happen, but I'm glad it did.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're such a great guest on the show. And for those that want to connect with Nomzamo, what's the best way to connect?
I'm on all platforms except Facebook, but you can get me on LinkedIn, on Instagram, and on X.
Oh, is
and
it?
TikTok. So a little active on all platforms. But yeah,
Amazing.
Nomzamo Moalusi can find me. Anyway.
Awesome stuff. Tawang will put on the name at the bottom there to say, this is the handle.
Find me here.
Yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please do take the time to like and subscribe and share this episode if you found it valuable. It's very important for us to grow the channel, and more so, to reach more people so that we can have better and better guests, each time we have an episode. So please do the right thing there. And for me, Pat Mahlangu, ngithi inagailale.
Pat. It's Pat on brands. Watch how you branded, man. A pat on the back is a pat from the man. Better be branded, man. A pat from the pat is a pat on the brand. If it's enormous.